overall, with all your experience and like your internships and like school and things like that, how much of what you do now did you learn like on the job, like internship wise, or like how much of it was like what you learned in college versus like the courses you took?
Honestly, if it wasn't for honestly, so I majored in communication, like what Tia said, and we was very hands-on. Mm-hmm. That's when I started passing my classes. That's when I knew that. That's when I knew that I was in a perfect. I always wanted to be in television, but I had big dreams to own my own production company. That's why I majored in business. I didn't have no guidance because I didn't see nobody in that position. So I thought business. I can learn how to do business, and I can write films, I can act, so I'm gonna just take the Tyler Perry route, but I'm gonna learn how to do, I'm gonna major in business. Yeah. What was your question again?
No, just like how much of what you do now did you learn from like internships?
Oh yeah, it's the exact same thing, but I am learning to do more at KOMU. It's an NBC affiliate, which is a local news station in Columbia, Missouri. I worked there. Tia can tell you I worked the 3:30 a.m. shift, got off at 9, it was part-time, and then I would go to school afterwards. So that paid off. That paid off into that internship at CNN, and then ultimately both of those two on my resume, working at a real local news station as a staff member, not an intern, not doing it for school, as a staff member. Right. I helped numerous of journalism students come in and help them read the script and practice and stuff like that. I drove the little truck around. Mm-hmm. I raised the mast and set up the cameras for the reporters. And I also was a stage manager. So just both of those skills, that's huge. Mm-hmm. And I'm grateful that I went to University of Missouri, Columbia, because they have access to that. You know, the studio was like less than 10 minutes away from the campus. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate that. And it was word of mouth of me getting that job because I was so good at my classes. My professor, his wife, worked at the local news station. So just making that connections, I've always been a networking person, which led me to my career right now.
Logan also.
So the same thing.
Yeah. So it definitely like prepped you for what you're doing now. And Logan also was an intern at a local news station. So how did that, kind of pretty much same question. How did that experience prepare you for what you're doing now?
So yeah, I interned for like a semester in undergrad at a local news station at home, and that was a lot of script writing, going out in the field with the reporters, that kind of thing. And then when I came to New York for grad school, I interned at Today Show, then interned with Dateline, which is where I am now. And so that's kind of how that worked, because it was like, okay, they recognize me because I'm an intern. Now they know my work. They know that I can handle everything. And so then I interned a second semester at Dateline. Instead of rotating to a different show, I chose to stay at Dateline a second term. And so that led me into getting what they call it a YO position, which is like a year only hire. It's like a, what'd you say? Like a freelance.
Okay. Yeah, just a year only hire instead of like a permanent position. You're there for a year and it's a rotation type thing.
And so after that year, they can determine if they want to keep you, hire you on staff, or you gotta get out.
and most of the times they're not hiring the staff, so it's still laid in, and you have to hustle. That was me.
You gotta hustle.
My first year at CNBC, they told me 6 months in, Rashaun, you good, but I know we're not going to hire, so we need to hustle. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah. With his position, they didn't have any openings and that's the thing. You kind of have to hope that there is an opening even for you to have an opportunity to get hired in. So for him, there wasn't an opening there, but then he came to 30 Rock.
And MSNBC, the day my CNBC contract expired was the day that I worked at MSNBC.